Tales from the Odyssey, Chapter 7, The Tempest. In the darkest period of the night, just before the dawn, Zeus sent a terrible storm to the island of the sun god. Fierce wind shook the trees, cold rain poured down from the heavens. The Greeks scrambled into a huge cave near the shore. They huddled together, listening to the roar of the storm. At the first light of dawn, as the wind and rain raged on, Odysseus ordered his men to drag their ship ashore and pull it into the cave with them. Once the ship was safely in the cave, Odysseus gathered his crew around him. "Friends, we cannot leave the island this morning," he told them. "So I command you again, do not touch the sheep or cows that belong to Helios, the sun god. He sees all and he hears all. He will know at once if you try to feast upon his treasures. We have all the food we need now in our ship. As soon as the tempest ends, we will sail on." The Greek warriors promised to do as Odysseus commanded. But day after day, fierce storm winds from the south and east pummeled the sun god's island. The days grew into weeks, and still the tempest did not end. Never did the storm cease long enough for the Greeks to set sail. For over a month, Odysseus and his men remained stranded on the island. At first, they ate only the food given them by Circe. But when those provisions were gone, the men were forced to roam the stormy coast, spearing fish and birds and anything else they might eat. As the tempest raged on and on, Odysseus and his men could not find enough food. Each day they ate less. Each day they grew weaker. Hunger gnawed at their bellies, and despair seized their souls. Odysseus grew more and more frightened that the men would lose control of themselves. He feared their hunger would eventually drive them to slay the cattle and sheep of the sun god. And he knew that the sun god's anger would bring death upon them all. Early one morning, while the others were still sleeping, Odysseus slipped from the cave. He ran through the storm and took shelter in a solitary outcropping of rock near the shore. Odysseus knelt on the ground. He raised his arms and called out to the gods and goddesses of Mount Olympus. He begged them to show pity. "Give us your courage to withstand our hunger and despair," he prayed. "Send us fair weather so we might sail away soon. Help us follow the counsel of Tiresias and overcome temptation." As Odysseus prayed, a great drowsiness overtook him. He closed his eyes, his head fell forward, and he sank into a deep, dreamless sleep. All right, and we will stop there.